All right, welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us throughout the day. This is our very last session of dot.LA Intersect, and at the same time, it is our very last virtual session ever. I'm going to have my fingers crossed on that one. Who knows what's coming in the future? But next time we do one of these pitch showcases, it's going to be in person. So I am very, very excited for that. But right now, we're going to hop right into it, into our pitch showcase, which is presented by our legal partners, Fenwick. I love these events because we get to highlight some very interesting companies and hear from industry leaders and investors how they think about evaluating companies. I think that that's always so interesting to just kind of get a look under the hood of how that process works. So I want to say a huge heartfelt thank you to Fenwick for sponsoring this and supporting innovation in our LA tech community. So how this is going to work is we have 4 companies that we're going to hear from today. Each is going to do a 5-minute presentation, followed by 5 minutes of feedback and some questions from our advisors. We are going to be sharing their company websites in the chat function. So if you want to go check them out, we will be doing that as they come on stage and pitch. And I'm going to introduce our advisors now. We are joined by 2 stellar folks today. We've got Julia Herringer, Vice President of the Churning Group, and we are also joined by Michael Brown, who is a partner at Fenwick. Before we welcome our first company, I'd love for each of you to just give me a quick little bit about your background so we have a perspective of where you're coming from. So Julia, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Kelly, and really happy to be here today. My name is Julia Herringer. I'm a vice president at TCG, which is a growth equity firm that is based here in Los Angeles and also up in San Francisco as well. We focus exclusively on investing in consumer brands and platforms and spend a lot of our time thinking about niche verticals that have passionate and engaged audiences and communities. Think Hodinkee for watches, Food 52 for home, kitchen, and cooking, Surfline, which I know some of you heard from earlier today for all the surfers in the world. And I spend my time across the investment lifecycle. So meeting with entrepreneurs like we will be doing today, digging deep into their businesses during diligence, and then working with them once they're in our portfolio as well.
Awesome. So happy to have you with us, Julia. And Michael, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and say just a little bit about Fenwick.
Great. Thank you very much, Kelly. First, we're honored to be a partner to dot.LA and be a sponsor of Intersect 2021. Certainly not the first event I think we had all hoped to be doing together, but just excited and thrilled with how it has all come together, and really passionate about the tech scene in Southern California and LA and what dot.LA is building. So we are just really excited to be here today. Fenwick & West is a law firm focused exclusively on technology companies for all of their core legal needs, whether it's corporate or IP, tax, litigation. I'm a corporate partner working with companies from their earliest stages in corporation through multiple stages of financing up through an exit, whether that's an M&A or possibly going public. I recently worked with my longtime client Coinbase on their direct listing, and work with a number of companies out of our Santa Monica office, Modern Animal, Relativity Space, Disco, and the first company we will hear from today, Verbal. So really excited to be here and look forward to the pitches.
Yeah. Oh man, Coinbase. So that was a pretty flashy one recently. Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing a bit about yourselves. Without further ado, I would love to welcome Audra Everett-Gold, the co-founder and CEO of Verbal Media. So Audra, I'm going to welcome you to share your screen.
Great. Let's see, a window. Oh, good. It worked the first time. Okay. So my name is Audra Gold, as you just heard, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Verbal. And we are an audio platform. And just quick shout out to Fenwick. They've done great work. I highly recommend them. So anyway, let's just get into this. Oh shoot, it's not working. Okay. So before Verbal, most online audio was orphaned, scattered, unorganized, and largely not monetizable. There are listeners and creators out there, though, in by the millions. So the listener community has over 20 million regular digital audio listeners. 230 million people listen to the radio, and over 100 million people consume podcasts. Now, on the creator side, there are now over 2 million podcasts out there. Most of them are user-generated too. And by UGC, user-generated, I mean not created by studios or businesses. These are individuals or teams of people doing this on the side. So a lot of people creating a lot of podcasts. And then there's thousands of YouTubers with audio-centric content. And there's so much more audio than that out there. We've collected millions of audio files that had no home, were not accessible, or were hard to find and consume. All of these audio listeners are scattered across multiple subpar sites and apps. There are millions of audio-related search queries monthly. They demonstrate a massive demand for long-tail audio content. And this content has typically been really hard to find, if you can find it at all. Here's a sample of some of the queries that we see people submitting on Google and YouTube. So the lack of cohesive measurement, streaming, and ad standardization has also stunted the growth of the digital audio ad business. The podcasting model has made this all worse, which many businesses are relying on for growth. The ecosystem for podcasting is simply contrary to how the modern internet works. It's got archaic distribution model, it's got poor discovery and traffic driving mechanisms, and non-scalable ad revenue models. Verbal is fixing these problems. We bring together listeners, content, and brands in a cohesive, mutually beneficial audio ecosystem. We have centralized long-tail content, we have audio creator incentives, and we have brand integration that's very organic to the platform. We are creating the perfect place to find audio, publish audio, and monetize audio. And these are some stats from the platform: 35 million audio titles, hundreds of years of streaming content, millions of stations. We've got it all. 300 topics, so more than 300 topics. We make it easy to discover, publish, collaborate, and grow. So you can discover and stream your audio. You can record or upload on the fly in our app that's coming out in the next couple of weeks. So you have a thought, open your phone, click record. You can publish it to your station and have it on social media within seconds. We also have a snippet tool that is patent pending that lets you take a small clip out of a larger piece of audio so that it's portable. You can go embed it somewhere. You can take a moment that's funny or that you want to use as a teaser to promote your other longer form piece of content. Your fans can also do this for you. They can take their favorite moments and share them out on social. And then you can also collaborate. You can invite multiple people to edit your stations. You can do playlists together and work with your friends or other people that have like-minded audio content or topics. We also curate. We do this to help with discovery, and we do this to help our partners grow. So we have dozens of human curated stations on popular topics. And we will be everywhere listeners are. By the end of this year, we'll be on desktop downloads, we'll be in mobile apps, we'll be in connected home, and we'll be on connected TVs. We have some game-changing features coming soon too, on the heels of the app, the mobile app, which is coming out soon, like I said. We're gonna have live audio streaming for select partners. And we're gonna have audio filters to make your audio come to life and add some fun to short form audio that you might wanna upload and publish. So this is where we sit in the ecosystem. We are building the epicenter of online audio, where it's free and open to all audio creators, streaming to listeners everywhere in the world. So if you're a creator, we can offer you incremental audience and revenue opportunities. If you're a premium platform or have something premium to sell, you can use Verbal to promote your content and generate leads from Verbal. So join the future of audio, start verbaling, create an audio station. This is one of my favorites, Dream Sounds. You can come here, upload and monetize, create your own audio library. If you're just a listener, you can fill it with all the audio playlists and stations and audio that you love. And you can also record and upload your thoughts instantly and share it out on social, or just put it in a playlist, or just publish it to your station and share the link. You could also apply to become a Verbal ambassador, which is a new program we launched. So if you're a subject matter expert, we'd love to have you apply to our ambassador program or become an ad partner, and visit us on verbal.com on our socials, which I put right there. And that's it.
Okay, awesome. I'd love to invite Julia and Michael to give some feedback, ask some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for that, Audra. I think discovery in audio is such a big issue, and it's great to be able to offer all of these tools. It'd be helpful to hear a little bit about the business model and how you're thinking about actually monetizing.
Yeah, so our framework is very much modeled after the YouTube framework. So we have a streaming platform that supports all types of audio, and it also supports real-time programmatic advertising, which happens to be what I believe the next big ad format. It's about to hit its tipping point. We're creating a huge amount of inventory in that space, and we're going to be sharing that revenue with our creators. So just like a YouTuber, audio creators can become really rich if they're really big and have a lot of streams, or they can just make a few $100 a month, if they're not into being huge. And if they're not into making money, they don't have to monetize at all. We'll keep the ads off.
Amazing. Makes a lot of sense. And then how are you thinking about finding the audience and marketing this product?
So a lot is going to be through our creators. And so what we've done first, because we're still in beta, we just launched, we're kind of up and coming here. Our creator community is proliferating, and they are doing a lot to bring their listeners that they already have and their followings that they already have to the platform. And so we plan to do a lot more of that. We do a lot of training for our creators to teach them how to optimize on the platform and how to drive more listens and how to find more audience. And so we're encouraging a lot of activity that you see YouTubers doing with collaboration, cross-linking, finding people that have content like yours or audience like yours to do, some cross promotion with. So that's one. Then social, of course, we've made these snips so that you can have a piece of content go viral. In the audio space, that has been almost impossible, right? Everyone has to put audio into video to make it go viral. Well, we've made this new tool that allows you to take a potentially viral moment, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, clip it, embed it on Twitter or your social media platform of choice, and you can drive not only massive awareness that you never would have had otherwise, but you can also bring a lot of people back to your station to consume the rest of your audio. So, and then of course we'll do paid media. So on top of that.
Awesome.
Would you expect that creators would use both verbal and YouTube, for example, or would they be?
Absolutely. We already have hundreds of YouTubers on the platform that have partnered with us, and they're driving incremental, finding new revenue on verbal. So they've got their video, consumers, but that's not very easy to consume when you're driving, right? When you're backgrounding, when you're working out. So they're using verbal now to get additional audience, additional ad revenue. And that's been working really nicely because they can cross promote in both places. So yeah, definitely we expect a lot of that. And they're doing a lot of exclusive playlists though on verbal. So they're really highlighting audio in a different way, of course, because we're audio platform as opposed to video. But yeah, it's been really, really fun and exciting to see that happen. And Dream Sounds is actually an example of one of the YouTubers that has been doing really well on verbal.
And how do you think about the competitive ecosystem? Obviously, Spotify with all the podcasts that they've been consolidating, and Apple you mentioned as a partner, but of course, they're always a potential competitor, and Google with their broad reach and ownership of YouTube. How do you think about either existing competition as well as potential competition in the future?
Yeah, I mean, the lucky part for us is that we're small, nimble, and we can create a framework that actually fits into the exact business model that we want to offer our creators right out of the gate. So for anyone else to do that, they're going to have to rework a lot of their business model and their framework on their platforms. But in addition to that, these sites are really like some of the ones you mentioned, like Spotify. They are first and foremost a premium offering, right? They want subscribers. They want your credit card. They also don't give a lot of tools to this longer tail, the smaller creator community, right? They've got their musicians, and then they're signing big stars, right? It's kind of like an HBO model, which is great. They're going to lock up some really great talent and charge money to access that talent. But that same talent, I find it to be very complimentary on verbal. They can go promote and drive more awareness to drive even more audience to their shows on places like Spotify or on places like Apple. So I think those platforms will actually end up using us a lot like how they currently use YouTube today, like how HBO might promote Game of Thrones on YouTube to drive awareness and audience to Game of Thrones. And that's kind of how we want to position ourselves amongst all of those potential competitors that are, you know, premium sites first. They want your money first as a listener, and they want to pay creators to, you know, lock up their content and do exclusives. And that's definitely, you know, not our model.
Okay, awesome. I can't believe the 10 minutes went by already, but it did. So Audra, thank you so much. And judges, thank you so much for giving that feedback and kind of giving us a window into how, you know, you think about this space, especially when we've seen audio really take off during the pandemic. So it should be super interesting to watch. So Audra, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. All right,
okay, great. So audience, bear with us. We are going to be switching out for our next company, and he should be joining us very shortly. Great. Jay, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. And we can hear you. Perfect. Smoother than expected.
Yeah.
So we next up are going to have the Chief Revenue Officer of Camera, Jay Jabanaputra, and I'm going to ask you if you could share your screen. We're just going to kick off with your pitch.
That's fantastic. Hopefully you can see my screen. Well, thanks for the opportunity.
Are you sharing anything right now, Jay?
Okay, let me try one more time. It says it's sharing, but it does not allow it to share.
So again, audience, bear with us. I had this exact same problem yesterday. I believe if you go into your privacy, are you on a Mac?
Yep.
Yep. Go into your system preferences and go into security and privacy. And then under screen recording, are you on Chrome?
I am on Chrome, yes.
Check Chrome, and then you should be able to do that.
Okay, just bear with me, and sorry for that.
Oh, don't worry. I am host. I am disembodied Wizard of Oz voice right now. I am tech rep here at dot.LA.
Did that work?
Perfect. Excellent. All right, Jay, take it away.
All righty, perfect. Thanks for having me. My name is Jay Jabanaputra. I am the Chief Revenue Officer at Camera. Camera is backed by Techstars, a no-code-based, browser-based platform that helps unlock the power of immersive augmented reality experiences for small, medium businesses to enhance their customer experience. SMBs today have limited resources, money, and time. They need to differentiate themselves in a crowded marketplace, as well as compete with the big brands. Consumers, on the other hand, are more and more demanding and want better experiences. They want to try things before they buy. They are happy to spend that $5,000 or $10,000 on the sofa they love, but they want to make sure of that purchase before they actually buy. So to bridge that gap, Camera is empowering brands to bring their products to life using augmented reality so that their demanding consumers can now experience the product in their own environment, engage with the brands in a social context, all while boosting their confidence to make that purchase. The platform itself is extremely simple to use. With a simple create deploy mechanism, brands can leverage existing templates, use their own 3D models or images, or leverage our creator marketplace to create amazing experiences consumers will love. They can also track engagement rates, conversions, etc., helping them further micro-target their consumers, giving our customers the best bang for their buck. So a quick demo of the platform, I just embedded that in terms of using it to customize our asset library and deploy these experiences. So out here, you can see that from the asset base, you can actually select any of these objects if you don't already have your models. You can customize the sizing, you can customize the colors, the background, the textures, the gradients, etc., and simply publish it, and you're live and you're ready to go. You can share it across social media, on chat, on offline media, on your website. You can embed it where you like. So what's our business model? We help brands get started for free, a low entry to start. And as they see the ROI and grow, we grow with them through a subscription and consumption-based model. There are various competitors in the marketplace, of course, but our USP is around cross-platform publishing. Most of these companies that are there in the market are either doing web AR only or social, not both. With a single click, you can now publish across any of these platforms. It's a low barrier to entry to get started. We have a creator marketplace that we are enabling as well to help contribute to the network for the pre-built asset bases and templates for the social. And of course, an attribution from an online and offline perspective. So who we are a bunch of folks with varied backgrounds, bringing over 16 years of average experience, working in relevant industries, data and analytics, and with experience working with startups, scaling them from growth to acquisition. We truly believe that there's a world of endless possibilities, but let's start with enabling those best experiences first for the consumers. So are you in? And I'm going to stop there.
Great. Thanks so much, Jay. So Michael, Julia, take it away with some questions.
Yeah. Hey, Jay. My first question is, when you were showing the demo in the deck, it looked like it was pre-populated couches or sofas or chairs. If I'm a small business owner and I have an inventory and I'm selling furniture, can I upload the chair in my storeroom and then I can manipulate it on there, or you have to use the kind of pre-made templates?
So no, you can absolutely upload your own 3D models, or if you don't have 3D models as an SMB, you can actually provide 360-degree images of your assets, and we can turn that into a 3D model and an augmented reality experience for the small, medium businesses. Got it.
And then if from the consumer perspective, if you then go to the website of my SMB furniture shop again, if I have, my living room photo, am I able to take their chair and put it on as how it would look in my living room so that I could see it kind of all through the platform, and you're providing that entire solution?
Yeah, so even better, if you actually scan the QR code that's enabled on those websites, or if you're on your mobile browser and you click on the View and AR button, it will actually project the augmented reality experience in your living room. So not pictures anymore. You're not looking at 2D images to actually experience that. You can now look at that couch in terms of the size, shape, texture, in actuality in your living room to understand if that actually goes well with your ambience. So the photo frame that you have behind you, if it is 20 inches versus what if you thought it was, if you could buy something 40 inches, will it look good or not? You're working with an assumption in your mind. We're removing that assumption portion for consumers because not everyone is that visually perceptive as interior designers are to understand how these objects look in their environment before making those purchases and commitments.
And I guess I understand the application really well for home design. I think I'm looking for a sofa right now, and I wish I was able to broadcast it into my living room. How do you think about other verticals? What are you prioritizing, and where do you think this makes the most sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So based on the research that we've done, we're targeting home improvement. So home goods, home furnishing, tables, chairs, patio furniture, lamps, wall designs, wallpapers. If you want to change the color of your background wall, we're targeting that as well. So we're starting with that group first. And then as we kind of grow along, we've done experiences. We've already worked with brands doing social experiments with try-ons like shades and glasses and makeup and hairdos and even apparel and footwear. So there is a plethora of opportunity in terms of industries, but as a small company, which is just starting off, we want to keep our focus in terms of the industries where there's obviously high ticket items, high ticket purchases. And at the same time, if you're buying a sofa, for example, which is potentially customized, or you want to customize it to certain dimensions, you have to wait 2, 3, 4 weeks before it's delivered. And guess what? If you don't like it after it comes, you got to return it. So we're helping reduce those returns as well for brands. And at the same time, making sure that you don't have to wait another 3 weeks to return it, buy it again, and come back to your location.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a ton of sense. What are some of the major milestones that you guys are working towards over the next 6 to 12 months?
The major milestone that we're working towards is first enabling brands. So we're our goal is to enable at least 20 to 30 brands before the end of this year to go live on their websites. We're already talking to 10 to start pilot deployments. We're also a part of the Techstars cohort as we talk right now. So we're going through that Techstars cohort. We are raising $1 million safe round right now, of which we've got 250 committed already. We just started raising that round, and we've got a ton of interest. So we're looking for strategic investors for that safe round. And then as we start scaling the company and we hit our first milestone of enabling 10, 15, 20 brands to come on board, we'll start raising for our next round of seed funding of $4 to $5 million.
Amazing. And what are you thinking about in terms of use of proceeds for that $1 million round?
We've got a whole bunch of things that we need to improve on in terms of the tech, the platform, the UI, UX, sales, and marketing. Right now, everything that we're doing is in-house, and we don't have any marketing that we're doing, zero. It's just our network that we're leveraging. So we have a whole bunch to put in there in terms of effort from a sales and marketing standpoint, as well as engineering tech.
Amazing.
Great, awesome. Jay, thank you so much for sharing a bit about your work, and thank you for bearing with me while we work through the tech problem together.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for those guidance, and I apologize for the delayed start, but thanks so much for your time.
Not your problem, yeah.
And lovely talking to all of you.
All right, great. Okay, well, Jay, okay, he just left us, and we are going to be bringing on our next company in 1 second. Okay, Nick, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And I can hear you as well. So great. All right. So next, I'd like to welcome Nick Rafkin. He is the founder of Iris Tech. And Nick, why don't you start screen sharing and kick off your pitch?
Very cool. Just give me a sec.
And Nick, your audio is a little bit low.
Is it okay now?
Julia, Michael, can you, maybe it's just me. Can you guys hear him?
It's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit low.
Is it? Okay. How about now? A little better?
Not much better.
I don't know if I could fix that on my end.
Maybe, I think we can still hear you, but maybe just try
I'll scream.
the pitch with gusto.
Yeah, exactly. All right, sounds great. All right, hello. My name is Nick Rathkind, and I am the co-founder and CEO of the augmented reality software company Iris. Our application allows users to communally experience recorded 3D concert content viewed through any phone, tablet, or AR eyewear with their fellow humans. We are taking the streaming concert experience to a human level by allowing multiple users to listen, dance, feel, and react to their favorite artist performance in real time with each other in any shared space in the world. To accomplish this, we can record any artist's entire physical performance in 3D, then give you, the user, the ability to place that full life performance anywhere, whether in home or out of home, to be co-experienced with your friends, family, and fellow humans. I'm sure
Nick, sorry to interrupt your flow here. I hate to do this to you, but we're actually seeing your full screen rather than the specific window that I think your pitch is on. So I just want to make sure that we have all the visuals that you're looking for us to get.
You see the pitch though right now, right?
No, so we actually just we see the window of, now we're in this window mirror type of thing. So if you go to share and then maybe stop sharing, and then it should give you the option of entire screen and then window, and then we can try that again.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're good. I just want to make sure that you have all the visuals that you're expecting us to see.
Yeah, I know. That'd be good. Okay, I think this is it. All right.
Great.
Okay. Is that good?
That is perfect.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Sorry. I'm just like getting back on my flow. Okay, to accomplish this, we can record any artist's entire physical performance in 3D, then give you, the user, the ability to place that full lifelike performance anywhere, whether in home or out of home, to be co-experienced with your friends, family, and fellow humans. I am sure it is hard to imagine something that currently doesn't exist, which is why I would like to start this presentation with a demo video that shows how we can render any artist as if they were in the same room with everyone. And as we all know in the entertainment biz, we decided not to show the song and lyrics, but if you'd like to see a full demo after this, we're happy to share with you offline. We feel we could fix many of the problems that are currently being faced by the music industry. People around the world want access to their favorite artists' concert performances, and unfortunately, location, cost, and limited seating makes it hard for many. The only other options are to watch live streaming concerts on a personal device, TV, or through a VR headset to see a cartoonish version of their favorite performer in a disconnected world. Our solution is simple. We want to bring humanity back to technology by allowing fans to interact with their favorite artist while sharing the concert experience with as many others as they want in real time. The brain behind our first-to-market patent-protected technology, Steve Lucas, is a well-known leading mind in the augmented reality space. Most notably, he played a vital roles with the engineers at Magically, Qualcomm Ventures, and his company Spatiate. The music industry needs an immersive disruption after users are showing their willingness to pay for streaming concert experiences. BTS, the famous South Korean pop band, made $20 million for just one pay-per-view streaming concert. Travis Scott digitally in the game Fortnite earned $20 million of earned revenue, and large companies like Live Nation are starting to lock down venues specifically for pay-per-view streaming events. The U.S. recorded music industry is valued at $12.2 billion, an increase of 9.2% from 2019, and the fifth consecutive year of growth. The largest component in streaming services and shows continued strong consumer demand. Our platform puts the experience and the immersiveness of live music at the fingertips of these end consumers. The expanded touch points and premium front row perspective of our AR 3D streaming application greatly increases connections between artists and fans, creating new and expanding existing revenue generation opportunities and repeat consumer engagement. So how do we bring this new experience to the market? Through a phased growth approach. There are 3 growth stages in scaling up for the use of Iris AR streaming. The first step is the introduction of our AR 3D streaming to the market with 1 to 3 targeted concerts. How do we do this? Engagement with relevant investors and partners such as Sony, Disney, or Warner Music. Once we get traction with these initial artists and the industry understands the ease of use and the increased audience reach, we aim to make AR 3D streaming a norm for live concerts. The long-term goal of our platform is to give artists an open stage to be creative in a new medium where both fans and artists have more personal presence and can more deeply engage with each other. With live concerts bringing in the most money for top artists, our 3D concert streaming is a significant opportunity for them to get in front of more fans. Prices for AR stream 3D concerts can be priced lower than in-person concerts, as many of the overhead costs associated with live event support are not needed. Pink was the highest grossing artist based on touring concerts. On average, she brought in $3.2 million in revenue and 26,700 fans per live concert. If we assume her stream live concert participant ratio is the same as that of BTS, she stood to sell 350,000 more tickets and make an additional $12.4 million per concert. AR 3D streaming as a live concert add-on that brings multiples of added revenue with little additional costs and increased fan connection is an easy win for the artist and the fan. We are the only company that could offer co-experiential, immersive live event streaming content because of our first-to-market technology in the augmented reality space. Our patent-protected technology is 2 years ahead of any potential competitors since we figured out how to synchronize any device, phone, tablet, or AR eyewear, no matter the manufacturer, to co-experience the same content in real time, making Iris the only company able to scale quickly, offer fans immersive co-experiential premium concert content, and create new revenue streams for the music industry. We currently have an MVP and are looking for $2 million to finalize our application in 1 year's time. On behalf of Iris and the team, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to learn about the future of streaming concerts. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Nick. Julia, Michael, feel free to.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Nick. I definitely wish existed over the course of the last 18 months or so here. I know we've all been all been missing experiencing concerts live. Can you talk to us a little bit about the content creation process itself? How much time does it take to create each experience? How hands-on does the artist have to be? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So are you aware of volumetric capture?
No.
Okay, so volumetric capture is basically a green room that has 120 cameras and 40 microphones. And it could have any artist go in there. It's about 8 feet by 8 feet. And it basically takes a capture of your entire performance, all your movements, 360 3D. So the minute we have your whole performance, we could put you into our application and then plot you anywhere to have multiple people actually experience it with you. So it's not necessarily 2D like you're looking at it like a TV or stuck in a square like your phone or your tablet. But you could literally walk around, get close to the face, go close, and it's also viral and shareable. So we're pretty excited about that. But that's essentially how we do it. It's a pretty simple process. It's basically put them in there, record a couple of songs. I always like to say that Travis Scott sung for about 9 minutes in Fortnite, and the money that he made from that was insane. So I think people are really ready for like this immersive, different experience to enhance everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about the monetization, are the artists paying you for it and then consumers are paying the artist extra? How do you think about that business model?
There's multiple. I mean, I've had 15 years experience in digital ad sales industry. So, I mean, everyone's throwing around like 2.2 billion in like augmented reality advertising, and it's a whole new wave. And then when you have companies spending billions of dollars, whether it's Microsoft or Apple on eyewear, we really do see that as the future. So that's one way. We definitely think the best thing for us would be to partner with, whether it is a Sony Music or someone who owns content, to be able to scale it out. Because our big thing is the fact that we answer the problem of having any hardware be able to do this and is hardware agnostic. Our scale out options are pretty great, especially compared to most other augmented reality companies. So, I mean, there's a couple of ways, honestly, but it's pretty much end consumer will be ticket pricing pay-per-view. People spent $30 per ticket for BTS for just a 2D streaming for multi-view. So we see that angle. And we also see the angle of like a SaaS model with perhaps like a content creator or music or someone that owns music content.
Awesome.
Coming out of the last 14 months of pandemic and quarantine, I can certainly see the attractiveness here, but how do you think about it going forward? I mean, I think I'm a big concert goer, Coachella and Outside Lands and all the like, and it's really the experience, right? And I would differentiate that from going to the movies, where going to the movies itself was not an experience. That was simply the form by which you were able to watch movies prior to Netflix and streaming. But the actual event, going to a concert, a festival, being out, people, drinks, concessions, how do you think about how this plays into that event where you're kind of, in some respects, cannibalizing that, and will people forego going to Coachella because it's 100 degrees in order to have an experience with an artist, at their home with friends?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think first and foremost, we're not trying to cannibalize anybody. I think of us as an add-on. So I think it's a lot about access. How many people don't live in California who could go to Coachella? Why can't we put the same musicians and the same entertainment all around the world? We could scale anything out. And then there's another big thing going on with like nostalgia, right? Like when there was like Tupac as a hologram, people were really into that. Imagine being able to possibly see performers again, in like a very very realistic fashion. So we're not about taking away from anything. We're more about adding to it and more about adding to an experience outside of it. And I think that's something important. And I'm glad you actually, spoke about that, because that's really important to us for people to understand. Like, our point of us is to bring humanity to technology, not take humanity away. We want, because we also see the future. Like, I mean, when companies are spending like tens of $20 billion on augmented reality eyewear, it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of it's not a matter of how, but when it's going to happen, So that to me is the most immersive experience. We all have eyewear, no matter the manufacturer, and we could all see something together. Like, to me, that's like a beautiful thing. And I think it makes us all connected. I think we're too busy being stuck in a square. And I think it's time to like not use our phones as a closed door, but a window into the world and connect with like everybody around us. And that's kind of like the vision. Got
it. And going back to Julia's good question, to have the content though, it's not like you could have cameras at a concert and capture that artist's performance, and then that is the content. You actually would have to have them come in, put them in the suit with all the cameras like you do for the video games and the like, right? So you can't take an existing performance and then turn it into the content. It would have to be special performance and getting the artist to come and spend, even if it's only 9 minutes, like Travis Scott. Do I have that right?
No, so like the one thing we always get confused with VR. So there's going to be no weird haptic suits and no cartoon people. It's literally going to be them, like, and then the green room is a stage. That's it. Like they come in, they do their thing, and then that's how we do it. So I think it's very easy for them. And then also imagine all the added on effects you could do with augmented reality. You know, we could put fireworks, we could put neon dancers. You could actually have a whole other entertainment piece. Like I said, we're not taking away, but the future of volumetric streaming, which Microsoft mentioned, that's the future. I think there will be a time, not in the near future, but as we evolve, you could actually scan a live performance and then stream it everywhere. I mean, I think that's where we're going.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much, Nick, for sharing Iris Tech with us. And oh wow, promptly hopped off. All right, we are gonna have Patrick joining us in a second. All right, Patrick, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Great. And I can hear you. Perfect. Okay, so you are our final company of the day. So I'd like to welcome the co-founder of Commons, Patrick Burns. And if you want to start screen sharing, go right ahead.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm the last one, I think.
Yes, you are.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I can't tell. It's probably a little bit of both. I mean, I know you at this point you're all really. I mean, on Shark Tank at the very end, the last person is just not. It's not the good spot to be in. I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
We're ready for you. We're ready.
I don't even watch Shark Tank, so I've only seen the video clips. But if you want to unleash the sharks, please do so. You have 5 minutes or maybe a little more. Let me see if I can figure out how to share my screen on this new technology application we're using here. Can you? Yes. What do you see, by the way?
Perfect. We see a blue slide that has Commons and your team's new place to talk.
I can no longer see people's faces. This is not a great screen share experience. So if someone's frowning or has a questionable look on their face, can someone just give me a little? I'm co-founder of Commons, and that's commons.so is our website. And by the way, please interrupt me if you have any questions. Don't feel like you have to wait towards the end. We're a small team, a founding team based here in Los Angeles, and we have several employees abroad as well. We're building your team's new place to talk, and I'll, in the next, I guess, 4 minutes now, explain why we think that is really important. Just to give you some more context on the company, we came together about almost a year ago, and I'll share more about our backgrounds in the deck. And the specific reason why we came together and the thing that we have been tackling, and I'm sure many of you, not just in the panel, the sharks, but also the audience, can relate to this. Distributed work in some capacity, whether it was this COVID work from home experiment or the ongoing distributed hybrid setup, it's here. But we believe that we're still in what we would call the cubicle era. And I don't know if anyone here used to work in an office with cubicles, but kind of sucked. Not very fun. I think you can probably describe a lot of the work from home style in similar ways. Just a couple of quotes in terms of what we mean by this. I know many of you probably are on Zoom meetings all day long. That's just like standard for distributed work, which is not collaboration. That's just Zoom fatigue. The other impact is that decisions get postponed. It's harder to move fast because there's no way to have these quick hit conversations. And then finally, there's a cultural impact. If you don't have a way to talk in a very informal ad hoc manner, it's hard to build culture and relationships. So what Commons does to solve this problem is it fills this communication gap. The simplest way of thinking about it is this chart on the right, which I know is a very standard chart to have in any pitch deck, but it turns out it's a pretty simple way to understand. So synchronous and unplanned, that's a little bit jargony, but what we mean there is the tap on the shoulder interaction, the hallway chat, the serendipitous exchange. That's impossible to have in the distributed remote work context. But that is what drives collaboration all day long, every day when you're in the same co-located environment. And so what we see instead is people using Zoom more, and 20 to 30% more emails and Slacks over the course of the pandemic. So the impact of filling this gap, which Commons does, is twofold. One is obvious. It's you can move faster. You don't have to wait around for the next half an hour free. You can just talk and resolve whatever question you have, especially if it's urgent or you have some sort of complexity to it. And second is it helps the team stay more in sync, because you can just you can share things and speak in a more informal manner. I'm going to show you, I can't show you the whole product because it's kind of hard with all the screen share stuff. I'm going to show you a really quick GIF, which is hopefully going to give you a brief idea. Let me see if this will work. So there's a lot going on here, but the takeaway is that Commons is, you can think of it as kind of like Clubhouse for your team, or in that there's like rooms, you can like jump into the lounge and then jump into the office, and you can tap your space bar to talk to somebody. And so we're kind of creating a we're creating like an audio-based office. You can share your screen, you can turn your camera on, and everything is within one click. So that's the sort of the basic product and how it works. We're currently in private beta with this product, and we have hundreds of people using it every day. The longer term vision, however, is we really want to revolutionize enterprise collaboration via voice. We think this is really compelling. Step one is it's all about communication, which, by the way, we come from, I didn't mention this, but I'll mention this in the last slide. Myself and my co-founder, one of them, met at Snap, and Snap is a communication company. And we think that, step one for us in this context at Commons, it's about communication for your team, creating the most fast, the most efficient, natural way to talk to your team. Step two is capture. A lot of tacit knowledge exists in conversations that just happen throughout the day. We're going to build ways for teams to capture that and act upon it. And finally is intelligence. Imagine if you could have Alexa for the enterprise, or for your team, or for your own sort of personal digital voice-based assistant. That's where we're going longer term. Finally, this team, as I mentioned before, is based in Los Angeles. We came together because myself and Aziz met at Snap working on stories. Aziz and Azan are both full stack engineers, but they both spent about 10 years at Microsoft. They're, a lot of our experience together is highly relevant for what we're doing with Commons, which is ultimately a communication product for the enterprise. So I think that's it. Thank you. Let me see if I can
Thank you so much, Patrick. Michael and Julia, feel free to.
Yeah, so I guess my first question is, and I'm sure this is a naive perception, but it felt a lot like what Microsoft Teams is trying to build. And, it's Microsoft, right? So it's on every enterprise, it gets pushed out. So is that, tell me why that's wrong. And if it is, how you avoid Microsoft Teams saying, gee, this is a great idea, and rolling it out to the millions of users of Microsoft products? Great question. The short answer is that we believe this requires a purpose-built product. Not dissimilar from two examples I'll give, Discord and Zoom. Discord started almost 10 years ago as a way to chat with your friends while playing games. That at the time, that probably seemed pretty niche, and also seemed like, games will just integrate chat into their experience. Turns out that's actually a purpose-built product for a purpose-built use case scenario. Same thing with Zoom. Almost every single collaborative tool in the enterprise has some sort of video sharing like this one. What we find anecdotally, and based on some of the research we've done, that people will still use Zoom video for screen sharing because Zoom is ultimately an infrastructure company. It turns out that last mile, that last 1% of performance, reliability, stability, which Zoom and Discord both have spent years optimizing,
make a huge difference, and they make a difference between whether you're going to use the tool, the integrated tool, or the standalone purpose-built product. So that's our belief for why the incumbents will not be able to succeed at this purpose-built scenario.
And what's the monetization strategy, especially, I assume you're selling to the enterprise, and if as you're doing that and they already have Zoom and Slack and Microsoft, right? How do you get the decision maker at the enterprise to find the value in another enterprise IT cost for them?
Yeah, everyone has tool fatigue, Zoom fatigue, and tool fatigue. But so two things. One, we're spending more and more time online, and so there are more and more tools that are more and more specific for certain scenarios. Two, more directly, and this is maybe somewhat controversial, we believe that Zoom is not the best way to talk to your team in an internal collaborative atmosphere. And so we think of Zoom as the metaphorical equivalent of that super fancy conference room that every office has, where it's kind of cold and it's like a long table, and it's kind of like, you don't want to spend your entire day in there. You go there once a month for the all hands or the sales kickoff. That is the digital equivalent of Zoom, or vice versa. You get my point. And so what our customers are saying is, we're not going to pay for Zoom anymore. Commons is actually like what we need when it comes to internal collaboration. Obviously, if you're doing a big presentation or a big formal, like something like this, Hopin's a great example. This is a giant company out just for online events. And so we think in a similar way, it'll be fairly easy. And by the way, our monetization model is a typical per seat per month subscription SaaS product. But we believe that it'll be, especially given we can improve ROI in terms of time saved, in terms of employee morale, it's kind of a no-brainer for most of our customers.
Return to work is obviously a super hot topic right now. You have on the one side companies that are going fully remote, other side companies that are returning to the office, and then you have this new hybrid solution that's somewhere in the middle. How do you think about this product kind of working across that spectrum?
Yeah, that's a good one. We think about that every day. The way that we are positioning Commons is for the hybrid organization, which we believe will be the majority of organizations going forward. And what that means is, in this hybrid context, you're going to have, in any given day, you're going to have some of the team at home and some of the team in the office. And that same problem will exist. You're not going to be able to turn around and say, hey, teammate, quick question. Did you see this, this, and this? Oh, by the way, I have this type of coordination problem is going to persist even in that hybrid context. And of course, will persist in the remote context.
Makes sense.
Great. I'm getting, oh, wait, I'm not actually sure. It looks like my video is frozen, but I think you can hear my audio. We're like teetering towards the end here. Patrick, thank you so much for sharing that with us today. And thank you, Julia and Michael, for sharing your time and for sharing all of your insights. It's super interesting to hear how you think about these things. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that is going to close it out. I wish you could see how big I was smiling right now, but my video is not allowing you to. But that's going to be it from us. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. Thank you to our partners, our sponsors. We could not do this without you. LA is truly the intersection of media and tech, and that is only becoming more apparent to me every day. I encourage you to sign up for the .LA newsletter and follow us on social. And look out for our in-person events. We are going to be coming up with some exciting, highly curated programming that is uniquely LA. So expect an email tomorrow with our virtual swag bag and some other details. And thank you again for spending your morning, your afternoon with us. This has really been an exciting thing for us to do. And thankfully, it is our last virtual event. So next time I see you, it's going to be in person. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. And I wish you a great rest of the week.